guys, it has been a while and it has been a journey. But let me tell you, we back out here with this vlogging and talking about recovering from people pleasing. But I'm gonna be giving you guys an update on where I've been for the last couple months because life just lifed. Because my last video I put out was in February, I believe, talking about my new book that was gonna be releasing, and then the very next weekend after I posted that video, someone very close to me died just unexpectedly, just like that. No sickness, no illness, just died. And that kind of threw me for a loop. It threw everyone that she knew for a loop, and it was just, life was just lifing. And then 2 weeks after that death, one of my cousins passed. Again, threw me for another loop. And I was just taking my own time, getting my mind together, and at the same time I had to work on my book because I was editing my book when all of this was happening. So in the midst of all that chaos that was taking place, I still had to, complete the task of getting the book ready for being put out for May 8th, which it did come out on May 8th, thank God. But from February to May 8th, it was just a challenge. But I will talk to you guys when I get to the office, because this noise on this street is just a little bit much right now. So I'm back. So like I was saying, yeah, I had two sudden deaths, and my totally just threw me off of my game. But I still had to show up at different places that I couldn't check out of. So YouTube was the one place where I could have checked out of, and that's what I did. I checked out for the last couple of months, was getting my mind right and all of that stuff. But I'm back, and as you can see, me and the sun right now, because I left my glasses. Don't know, I rushed out of the house and I left the glasses, so now the sun in my eyes is not the best right now. But yeah, so I checked off of social media. Didn't really have that much desire to post and make videos and do all that stuff anymore, because it was like, sometimes you get in that space where it's like, what's the point, like, of doing anything, because you never know what's gonna happen. Like today, tomorrow, I'm gone, and so what's the point of making any videos, putting out these content out here, But I was reminded, it's only what we do for God that is gonna last. And sometimes your legacy, you may never live to see your legacy, but the impact that you left behind, my God, is gonna cause a whole generation to change. So we can't become discouraged in our well-doing and stop doing the things just because life happened, because life is always going to be happening no matter what. life is always going to be happening. As long as we are on the face of this earth, life is going to be happening. This is all the more reason why, if you're a person that who is codependent and a people pleaser, that you need to walk away from this behavior, and know who you are on the inside. Because if you don't know who you are on the inside, you're gonna miss out on so much that life has to offer, because your life is constantly looking at others. What is somebody's gonna think, what that one is gonna think. And I think my resolve now is just to basically do so much more than I ever wanted to do now, because more and more you're seeing how much life is really just a vapor. Like, you can't predict life, you can't predict where you're gonna be tomorrow, you can't predict what's gonna happen the next minute. So why not live your life in that freedom and in that liberty, that God gave unto you? Why not do all of that stuff right now? Because you don't know where that life is gonna take you. We left off talking about, I believe was the letter R in the word transformation, and the next letter is gonna be the letter N. But I'm gonna talk to you about that letter N when I'm actually sitting at the desk. Maybe later when I go to the park. I'll do that. I'll be more relaxed and everything like that, and then you guys will see this video hopefully on Friday. That is deuces for now, until I pick up with the letter, what is it, the letter A? And that letter A is talking about analyzing. So we talk about telling ourselves the truth and being reflective, and the letter A is about analyzing. So we're gonna talk about that later. I'm gonna be sitting in the park then. If it doesn't rain today, I'll be sitting in the park. If it rains, I'll be sitting on the desk somewhere talking about analyzing, our life's behaviors and stuff like that. So, toodles. Hey guys, I found the perfect spot to do my video because it's so calming, and yeah, it's the best spot to do the video right now. So calming, so relaxing. So I'm enjoying the sound of the water. It's kind of like what the world call a zen moment right now. So this morning we left off talking about analyzing, and to analyze is to basically examine. So what do we examine in regards to people pleasing? We're examining our thoughts, we're examining our emotion, and we're examining our behavioral patterns, right? Because if we don't analyze our behavioral patterns, if we don't analyze our emotions, if we don't analyze our thought patterns, we are not going to get to the true motives of why we do anything for anyone, right? Because as people pleasers, we always feel as if to say, we are always being judged, right, by others. So we feel as if to say we always gotta say yes, we always gotta say, we can't really say the word no. At least that's what we think, that we can say the word no, right? But when we analyze our thoughts, when we analyze our emotions, we understand why we do certain things. We understand why we have certain thought patterns. It's because deep down at our core, we are believing a lie about our own self. And for me as a believer, um, we have to know who who you are in Christ, right? And if you're not a believer and you're watching the video, you still gotta know who you are at the core, who you are on the inside of you. And many times we don't know who we are on the inside because life causes so many different interruptions, especially starting as childhood, where we are basically conditioned to think a certain way, to act a certain way, right? If we want to please our parents, we were taught to not basically have an opinion because they were the authority figures in our life. So as children, we were always taught that, you know, you listen to your elders, you obey authority, and all these different things we were taught as children. And yes, we have to listen to our parental figures, but a lot of times in childhood we weren't given that space to express ourselves, to express our anger in a healthy manner, right? We weren't given that space to do all that stuff, and because we weren't given that space to express ourselves, we take up this habit of self-preservation, where we figure that we have to please everyone around us in order for us to be okay. And this is a lie. We literally can't. That helicopter is interrupting my zen moment. But anyways, we can, even in the park, you can't get away from New York City noise. Like, as far as I'm in the park, like I'm in the deepest part of the park right now, I still can't get away from the distractions. But this is New York life. This is New York living, and we love it. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying. We, what was I saying before I was rudely interrupted? Lord, bring back my thought, Jesus. But anyways, let's go back to self-preservation. That may be what I was talking about. But anyways, when we are taught to basically people please, it's a form of self-preservation because we don't want to disappoint anyone, right? We don't want to let anyone down in our life, so therefore we become people pleasers. And as people pleasers, we lose a sense of who we are. We lose a sense of that person that we are deep on the inside, at our core being. Like if you could remember who you were as a child, that maybe you were a joyful person, maybe you were so extroverted and crazy, but because of thinking that you have to please everyone around you, maybe you have an emotionally immature parents, and therefore you had to grow up quickly in a household where your parents didn't know how to regulate their emotions, and because they didn't know how to regulate their emotions, you never learn how to regulate your emotions as well. And so you grow up between being a kid, having a kid mindset, but at the same time having to mature prematurely, right? Because you started learning what's gonna make your parents anger become so explosive. You start learning what's gonna make your mother that put you down, right? So as children you learn these toxic behaviors. So in adulthood now we have to analyze these different thought patterns in our life. We gotta analyze, say, the reason why I'm doing all these things for everyone isn't because I really want to do it. It's because somewhere deep down inside of my heart, in my mind, in my soul, in my core being, I'm still living as that child. I'm still living as that person who was afraid to say no, that child who had to develop a protection mechanism in order to feel safe and feel seen, right, in the world around others, where you actually didn't feel emotionally safe, you didn't feel seen and heard and all that stuff. So as an adult now, you have to examine that thought pattern, and then you have to analyze the emotion that comes with it, because the emotion that comes with it is, I think, is one of sometimes it's one of defeat. Sometimes you are so overwhelmed. Sometimes you feel angry. Sometimes you feel sad. And sometimes all of these emotions comes like all at once. Like literally, you experience the anger, the sadness all at once. You feel anxiety and you feel perplexed and confused all at once. You have all these different varying emotions all at once, right? And that's because it stems from something within our childhood. And because we have these negative thought patterns and we have all these different, you know, negative emotions that we are not really regulating, what happens now is that our behavior, our actions start to follow our thought patterns and our behavioral patterns, right? And for the people around us looking at us, they may seem to say, as if to say we're not stable. And quite frankly, we're not really stable, because we're vacillating between, you know, pleasing everyone and trying to honor our own self at the same time. So our behavioral patterns become a little bit lopsided, and you know, it can be very toxic for the people who are in our life trying to deal with us, because they don't really understand the hell and they don't understand the trauma that we faced as children. They don't understand the things that we overcome even in our adult life to get to the point where we are at this very moment. So that's why we have to basically that's why we basically have to analyze our feelings. We have to analyze our thought patterns, and we have to analyze our emotional patterns, because they help us to distinguish and to see where we are on the healing journey and to come away from being a people pleaser. This is basically what my thoughts for you guys for today. It's the letter A, is that we have to analyze ourselves, and analyzing is an ongoing process. It's a transformation process, because to transform means to change, right? And so in order for us to change, we always have to be in this mindset of analyzing ourselves, analyzing our emotions, our thoughts, and even our behavioral patterns, so that we are able to better to understand ourselves better, number one, and also to deal with the people in our life who feel that we can't say no to. The number one, most of the time, this is either our family members that we feel that we can't say no to, we can't walk away from, and we can't set a boundary with. And majority of the times, that's gonna be our biggest test, is dealing with family members who don't understand where you are on your healing journey. They don't understand why all of a sudden you're drawing away. Is because now that you're understanding yourself, you're realizing that there are certain people that you really need to stay away from, and not because that these people are bad people, but because it's gonna draw you back into that mindset and that place where you're trying to walk away from. So this is it for today. So I'm gonna see you guys in my next video, because it's just my Zen era has just become very, very busy all of a sudden. But I love this spot where I can see the water behind me, and it's very calming and very soothing. And after a long day of work, it's like I can enjoy, you know, just listening to the water. I can enjoy just listening to my own thought and even meditating upon the word of God. So I will see you, my beautiful, beautiful butterflies, in my next video. And yeah, come with me on this journey of recovering from people pleasing, because we are all on this journey together. No one is gonna be left behind.